Hey guys, it's Alan, the Fireman 1028, and today we're on our Triumph Tiger 660 Sport, and we're going to do a ride and have a discussion about, is this a good beginner bike? Now again, this is not typically something you would think about being a beginner bike, but I've got some really good points for both directions, so let's take a ride and let's talk about it. Again, if you see anything that you like, give me a like, comment, subscribe, and let's get on the bike. Alright guys, so let's hop on our Triumph Tiger 660 and let's take a ride and let's talk about whether this would make a good beginner bike. So let's hop on the bike, let's throw on our gloves, and let's go for a ride. So this is a beautiful, muggy, mid-August day, 2025. Turn the key on. Let's go for a ride. Really, because I need some air on me. Oh my God, I'm hot. It's getting hot in here. And I'm wearing motorcycle gear. And that's really the end of the song. Alright. So we're at the beautiful Allison Creek. Now this park here actually used to be just a boat landing, but York County has really invested a bunch of money into this park with all these new facilities and amenities and the RV park over there, and they're doing all kinds of stuff to really outfit this place to be a top-notch park. Sweet lady here didn't charge me to come in. She just let me come on through. I thank you very much. Thank you, dear. Appreciate it. I don't think I was going to trip the thing, so we ride on around it. It costs like, what, $6, $8 to get in here now? I don't know if I'd pay $8, but whatevs. Catawba Nuclear Plant's right down this road right here. So you have the luxury of knowing that if if shit went sideways, you won't suffer. Alright, so let's talk about is the Triumph Tiger 660 Sport, is it a good beginner bike? So first off, let's talk about what makes a good beginner bike, huh? So the first thing you really think of is you think of low power, right? So you want something that doesn't have a ton of power, that's going to scare you, and it's going to kill you all, right? Well, okay, so the Tiger doesn't necessarily have low power. Snakes don't really have parts. But what it does have, which way am I going? Which way am I going? Is that faster to go that way? No, it's not faster to go that way. What it does have, it has 80 horsepower. It's an 80 horsepower triple. Now, for me, really, the triple is the key there, because when you have a triple, a Triumph triple specifically, is you have a smooth engine. You have a very smooth engine. And not only do you have a smooth engine, you have also just spot-on perfect fueling. So while 80 horsepower would probably be a bit too much for a typical beginner, I think it and this engine in particular are suited perfectly for a beginner. And I'll explain why. So, this bike has two modes. It has road and rain. So with that, you can put the bike in rain mode, and it really kind of dumbs down the throttle. Dumbs it down to the point of where it's it's very, very manageable. You can't really whiskey throttle the bike here. Let's put it in rain mode. See that? Look. Okay, so here's rain mode. Watch that. Not much. Now let's put it back in road mode, and you hit that throttle. It's the throttle response is so much more dull. And I don't use dull in a bad way. Dull as in, like, it's not as sharp. And that's perfect for beginners. So you could take this bike right here. You could learn how to ride with a smooth fueling in rain mode, and really get comfortable on a motorcycle and learning how to ride, and really kind of putting that right hand, putting that wrist, putting those two things to good use. So with that, I think it would make a perfect beginner bike. Weight. You really don't want a heavy motorcycle. You're not trying to learn on a 600-pound bike, or a Harley or FJR 1300 or BMW R1300 GS. You really don't want a very heavy bike to learn on either. This bike comes in at 454 pounds. Now that's not a lightweight bike, but it's not a heavy bike by any means either. Okay. And that weight, it really, going down the road, that weight just kind of disappears. It's a very nimble bike once you get moving. It has a very steep steering rate, which means it's very, very responsive, and it handles very well. It answers your inputs very, very quickly. So, while it's not the lightest bike in the world, it's also not the heaviest. But I think 454, not only is it a perfect engine size for a big block Chevy, it's also a perfect weight for a beginner motorcycle. Let's talk about ergonomics while we're on the topic. Let's talk about ergonomics of the bike. This is what Triumph calls an adventure sport bike. Adventure sport means that you got 17-inch wheels. That's the sport part, and you got this sporty engine. The adventure part is that you got a 33-inch seat, which sounds kind of high, but it's really not. You got a 33-inch seat. You got this ADV style sitting position. It's almost like these compact trucks that have an off-road package. They ain't really going off-road. This thing here, same thing. It's not really going off-road. Could you take it off-road? Maybe. Would you really take it off-road? Probably not. But you have this ADV style seating position, which means, and what I mean by that is that you're sitting perfectly upright. Your feet are right down below you. Why are you getting over, dude? Let me get by you. Let me help you out here, bud. No, I didn't flip you off. You're sitting upright. Your handlebars are in a nice position. You're not leaned over. You're not in a cramped seating position trying to figure out how to ride. You got a great view. You sit up high enough where you can see everything around you. You kind of have a commanding seating position. So, a commanding seating position, it leads to confidence, and confidence leads to being a better rider. So, the ADV style bike is perfect. So, another check in the box of making this a perfect beginner bike. You can't really talk about a beginner bike without talking about resale. Even though this is one that you wouldn't necessarily have to sell, if you bought this to learn how to ride on, you could turn around and sell it and get your money out of this. Triumphs really hold their value well, especially the triples. So if you wanted to buy this, learn how to ride, you could do that. You buy it for $5,000, $6,000, and you could turn around in 6 months to a year and probably sell it for the exact same amount, and then go get your Gixxer and smash into the back of an 18-wheeler. So resale value, yeah, it goes along with a beginner bike. Now, not everything's perfect. This is not the perfect beginner bike. I don't think there is a perfect beginner bike. Let's talk about a negative. You've got some really pretty body work on this motorcycle, and it would be a damn shame if you dropped it. It'd be a damn shame if you drop this bike and mess up this pretty body work. So unless you're going to clad this thing in some big old bars. Now T-Rex Racing, they do make, actually, I've already got a set of the bars, I just haven't installed them yet. They make a big old set of bars that you can put on this bike and would really protect all these really nice, really expensive fairings. But it's still, you're taking a really pretty, really, kind of sport touring, svelte, just really sexy bike, and putting some big cladded bodywork on there to keep it safe. So while it's not the best thing there, I'll put that as a negative of this, sexy red bodywork. You don't want to mess up. So I'll put that as a negative for being a beginner bike. Transmission. I mean, just this transmission is smooth as damn butter. I mean, look at this, look at this, look at that takeoff, that clutch and that transmission. It's just butter. It's so smooth, which again leads to confidence. A smooth transmission and smooth fueling leads to confidence in riding. And if you're confident in those items, you don't have to really think about those. That's more time and focus and mental energy you can put on other tasks. It's hard to say. Other tasks of riding a motorcycle, like staying upright and watching out for people trying to kill you. So in that sense, you know, it's a really good beginner bike. So we'll wrap this up here. Again, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but is it a perfect beginner bike? No. What would be a perfect beginner bike? I think it will give KTM 390 Adventure. Of course, half the things I talked about, that bike doesn't have. Smooth fueling, good transmission, not really strong suits of the Keep the Manual 390 Adventure. I don't even know where I was going. Where am I going with this? This is a perfect beginner bike. It really is. You could hop on this bike right here. You could buy this bike. You could buy it on the used market for $6,000 all day long. It comes with bags. You can grow with the bike. This could be your first bike, your second bike, and your third bike. It really could. There's no need to pass this on to go to a bigger bike. This is plenty big enough. You can dumb down the horsepower where you can learn how to ride. You can get confident riding the bike. Insurance is not expensive to insure. Once you get comfortable, you could really go fast on this bike. This bike, you could act like an asshole on this bike if you wanted to. So in that sense, not the asshole part, but everything else I said, this really is a really good beginner bike. So there it is. I'm going to wrap it up. We're going to call it done. I'm burning up outside. I got to head back to Charlotte too. So thank you guys for watching. If you see anything that you like, give me a thumbs up. Comment on the video if you think I'm wrong. What do you think is the best beginner bike? Let me know in the comments. And again, the ultimate compliment for me is to subscribe to the channel. That means the absolute world to me. And I thank you guys for everything. When you subscribe, it just gives me the motivation. And soon, allows us to be monetized to really start making, to continue making really good content. So, again, thank you guys for watching. God bless. Roll Tide. And remember, tomorrow needs you. Thanks, guys.